So I'm going to go ahead and point something out, and I know it's not a two and two to put together that most people want to think about. But if you've got a therapist that's got a 5-star rating, but only 5 reviews, and one of those reviews, all right, that one therapist that went into private practice, one of those reviews were from a social worker from another program, and the one mutual factor that they have in common was my case being a former case. All right? And you have that statement going ahead and claiming that, ultimately, that I was apparently her patient for 15 years. All right? Now keep in mind, she's practicing up in New York. All right? So trying to claim that I'm up in New York and also in North Carolina. All right? And that other program, Pedersen Craig, yeah, that program ended up getting deemed a pill mill. All right? And with both of those cases, all right, both having to go for a medical review as far as an ethics committee. And me in 2024 being one of the, I'm not sure how many confirmed cases, but one of the currently alive confirmed cases of people that have been used and extorted and exploited for slave labor. That doesn't look good. You know? Especially because of the factor that when you're trying to talk about insurance fraud and disability fraud, yeah, that right there would be considered identity theft. So, not to mention that, but also that movie, The New Guy, explaining what I experienced in junior high, but going and changing it up a little bit, and changing the narrative to high school rather than junior high. And keep in mind, the amount of people during that hate campaign, the harassment campaign, and the public persecution, that sound, that saying, that ended up getting used, all right? If I ever see you, it's on site. When you go ahead and Google Sagamore Middle School, the factor that the parking lot, it's gone. The only thing that there is, it literally gets shown as a construction site. And there's a whole, comedy channel, quote unquote, that ends up going ahead and giving a whole narrative about it. Breadstick Ricky and the Boss. Yeah, like, can you, I'm just saying, there's something fishy about it. There's a lot of fishy connections about it. And ultimately, a lot of people that don't want to have to explain. Especially because Pedersen Craig was supposed to be a, public social work service, that actually ended up going ahead and getting federal grants, to be able to continue on their work. Well, Barbara Chitkara had ended up going ahead and going into private practice. So, a former social worker from Pedersen Craig, which was a nonprofit, which ended up doing work with nonprofits, going ahead and leaving a review referencing the apartment complex that I was living in. That review in 2017. Plus the attempt to not want to have to explain the hematoma that ended up having to surgically be removed, or the, the actual results from the CTE scan, that ends up going ahead and showing with the amount of damage from the steel stool to the head, and now the dental x-rays that ended up going ahead and showing the factor that I was physically tortured. While simultaneously for years, there was just nothing but deny, 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 deny.